welcome back to another Square Round Table review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Star Wars The Acolyte series, a very divided opinion of the show in the fandom for sure. Like some people love it, some people hate it, and we're going to tell you what we think about it today. Buckle in and get ready for the show.
Yeah.
Marcus, how are you feeling about The Acolyte? Let's get right into it. What's your
Uh,
overall take in it? Were you sold on it at the beginning, or did it like take you a while to get to where it needed to be? I asked you like a lot of questions, my bad, but
no, because I'm trying to think how I should answer this without being like without being mean. Not even mean, without sounding like that guy, that Star
yeah, I
Wars
know.
fan that's just like, oh, because George Lucas didn't do it, it's not good, which is not the reason.
No,
And
it's
then at the same time, I don't want to offend the people who worked on the show.
yeah. Let's just say right now, the people that worked on the show, the actors and actresses and stuff like that, they did the best they could with what they were given. So we're
Yes.
gonna talk about the show itself and it's take out the actors of this actors and actresses in this
Yes.
review.
Like I always say, I don't blame actors too much unless they just completely don't execute the role. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the problem with this show was writing, um, trying to push a narrative, but I don't know what narrative it was trying to push.
Yeah.
Also, um, it had an agenda to to try to show the Jedi as instead of showing how faulty they were, which they did to a certain extent, they almost tried to make it seem like they were the bad guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I had a problem with that because I'm like, okay, I get it. Any kind of organization, whether it's good or bad, if it's bad, we already know, hey, it's this, it's that, it's the bad. But even the good ones, it has its flaws because of the way the system was built, what the practice is. So it's always going to be some flaw to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had to really do it as bad as they did, but I did appreciate some of what it did bring because it was like, man, like these guys were very arrogant at this time.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and their arrogance is what blinded them from a lot of things and what misguided them. And it almost supports why Yoda was so hard on Anakin about feelings and attachments and dwelling on the future and all that. It like supports that, but it's just it's like I was rooting for the Sith in this show because
Oh, 100%.
I was like I understand him because he had a terrible master and she is a terrible person and we find
Oh,
that out in the
100%.
last episode. Like she's a
Last 20
terrible person.
seconds.
I was like, God, man, are you really finna do that to your, that's supposed to
Yeah,
be your
homie?
friend? I'm like, bro. But I think I got away from the question. You asked me how I felt about it, right?
You were on point, but you were on point. That is how you feel about it.
I will say this. It is not up there in one of my favorite Star Wars properties as far as live action.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a time it's the thing that kind of hurt me the most and disappointed me was it's a time period where you could do so much and so much happened and it leads up to so much and it just it just felt like it was they keep calling it like the CW Star Wars, the first CW Star Wars show. But yeah, it just I don't know, man. The I couldn't connect to a lot of the characters. And for me, if I'm watching a show and it's just the characters are not working. And in this case, now it was one character where the actor was just not giving me what I needed. And she's a great person. Great
Yeah.
person. She's
Mhm.
very talented. But I don't think Amanda playing the twins, it just didn't give me like good, bad sisters. She felt real like It felt robotic.
Yeah,
The acting, and I can't blame her because maybe she was told to act that way. Because a lot of
exactly.
times directors will be like, "Hey, I need you to be emotionless and look like this and step."
Mhm.
Probably was just following her director.
Yeah,
So maybe it wasn't her. So that's why I said I won't put it all on her because at the end of the day, she has to do her job. So that's where it
exactly.
goes back to what I said, the writing. And I think that is out of everything, that's the biggest problem from this show is the writing,
Yeah.
the way they dragged out a lot of stuff that didn't
Hmm.
have to be dragged out. And what you always say, Demetrius, episode count. Like
Yeah, the episode count. I feel like a broken record at this point in time. Every single time they put out a show that's like not enough episodes, I feel like I have to mention that every single time. 'Cause I remember we were gonna do a 2 episode. We are gonna do the first 2 episode review because we have this thing where we do if they
yeah,
release them
like
in a little bunch or whatever, we do
mm-hmm.
that whatever. And I remember hitting you up and saying I need the third episode because the two
Them
episodes they
first two
put out
wasn't it.
weren't they didn't captivate it. They didn't put me in there. Like the cinematography in that first episode was great. The fight scenes was
Cinematography,
great.
like you said, the
Like,
choreography was good.
yeah, the cinematography choreography. Thank you. It was great. Like I love the action scene. That's what got me to sit up. Like all the scenes where they had the action was great.
I think the writing, like you said, the writing was bad. It tried to rewrite a lot of Star Wars in a weird way. Like they tried to introduce like so many different things, like the witches and the twins and them being born through the force or whatever that was, and then it was real later that they are one soul, two bodies.
But split because it wasn't like a successful
Yeah,
attempt at it.
it
Yeah.
wasn't successful at all.
And
Which
it's and like you told me, we was talking earlier yesterday. Like you said, it's almost like it's a cop out to say no. Anakin's still the chosen one. This
yeah,
was just a failed attempt. No, don't. I no. If you gonna go with it, don't try to fix it now because you know everybody gonna be pissed with you that you tried to change the course of history
yeah,
for
like
30 years. Really, Phantom Menace came out 25 years ago, something like that.
something like
Twenty
that.
five years, we've known that Anakin was the only one who was
Hmm.
born that way,
Yeah,
and that's what made him special, and that's what made him the chosen one. But now you telling me 100 years before he was born, it was an attempt, but they said nothing about it in the Phantom Menace, and it's people are gonna say you have to give them a kind of a chance because Phantom Menace was made all those years ago, so of course it wasn't a reference. But it's okay. But if you connecting it to that movie, you have to pay attention to what people
hmm,
said, what happened in the movie. Old boy who appeared in the show, and
yeah.
then so I guess he's like 100 years, 200 or some years old. I didn't even know they species lived that long. I always say his name was it Kai
Kind
Mundi. I always say his name
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I always say it wrong too, but you know who we're talking about. You know the person that
Yeah.
showed up. Here's the thing: they introduced a lot of things. Like we saw the bleeding of the kyber crystal, which I will
Hmm.
say I did like it. I won't. I did like
That was
seeing it.
great.
I liked certain aspects of it. Like the show wasn't, it's not the worst, but it had aspects that I liked. Like I liked the stranger, and I liked his whole journey, and I liked the soul. Right, soul. Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
soul,
So
and the lightsaber whip. It wasn't it for me. I needed a little bit more from that. Like
yeah,
it just didn't do enough. But I love the introduction of him with the stranger with all the Jedi. That scene was so good.
dude, he
And his
mollywopped his
dialogue was
ass.
great. Like he started talking about how the Jedi are like they bring children to war. Like
Hmm.
when he killed what's her name? I forget her name. The character
Oh,
name.
the apprentice or so.
Yeah, and he was like, "You brought her here." I liked how he talked about it from, "Hey, you guys kidnap people, bring them to war, and when they die, you don't even have the decency to bury them." So left them on that planet.
Hmm.
That's what shocked me. He left them there. He didn't even take him home. He just said, "Oh, you're here now. You're part of the compost."
He left him there because he trying to fix his mess that he made. He the whole reason why May is May and OSHA is OSHA.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, bruh, it was really like pissing me off because I was like, bro, the Jedi, man, the Jedi, bro. It's
No, Yeah.
Every decade of the Jedi, they do some stupid shit, bro. I
Here's the
don't get
thing.
it.
The one thing I liked about the show and the dialogue they had is like where I forget the actor's name, but the councilman, he came in and he talked about the Jedi not having checks and balances or whatever.
Oh yeah, he was
And
good.
that whole
I wanted
dialogue
more
was
of him.
great. Yeah,
I
that
wanted
dialogue
more
was
of him,
great.
bro.
Because he talked about it, and he talked about really what led up to Anakin, because Anakin became powerful and no one could stop him because they didn't have any balances
Yep, he
and
was
no way of checking each other.
Yep, he's basically saying this is gonna get out of hand to where y'all not gonna be able to keep it in control one day.
And then the corruption, the lies and the corruption that the Jedi spilled
So
to
many
say to cover
lies,
their
bro.
ass, man.
So many. The way she because I know we jumping around and stuff, but the way she manipulated May after she got her memory wiped to
Right?
ask her to aid her in covering up her mess, and then she go and tell the council,
The
not the council,
council.
what was the people from the High Republic or the Republic, whatever they were.
We call them the order, maybe.
The politicians,
Yeah,
and all them.
yeah, let's go politicians.
She was basically a Jedi went rogue, killed some people, got some people killed, and killed herself. I was like, damn.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, now you're potentially villain. Like, you're villain of the show right now.
And then you want to go to Master Yoda after all that and say you need to talk to him. Why you ain't talk to him at the beginning?
Talk to who? And then we find out that Stranger is her older princess. And I'm like, it all checks out. It all checks out.
That's why he the way he is.
That's why he don't want to mess with y'all. That's why he wants to be a dark sider, a Sith, because y'all are shady.
So I have to ask you this.
All right.
So I know, me and everybody else, a lot of people who we watch on Instagram, YouTube, a lot of Star Wars theory fans, and these guys that make posts. A lot of them have watched the interviews of the lady that was over the show that wrote. Yeah. I think she wrote it and directed most of it.
Well, I think so.
And some of her comments and stuff, she was just. I was like, I was like, maybe I should go and watch them again, but it was so hard to watch them the first time because I don't know, man. I don't like to down people, but it's like she's talking, but she doesn't. It's not making sense. You're literally saying it's like you're saying, oh, this is what the problem was, and this is why it's like this because in Star Wars it was like, no, what, huh? What is? I can't even remember. It was something she had said about Anakin, and I can't remember what it was. And I was like, wow.
I remember she talked about this is the first time the Sith have been the outsiders or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, but what are you talking about?
And I was like, I don't. This is another thing that I always talk about is making sure that you hire people for directing stuff that know the IP, that are fans of it, because you get the best quality that way. If you get someone who doesn't know it, of course they're going to make a show like The Acolyte where it's breaking or trying to change canon or trying to shift canon in a certain way and adding certain things that just don't work out, or having a show where it doesn't get really good until the stranger is killing people.
And that is when it starts. Literally, the last episode of your show is the best episode.
Exactly. I think that just shows, one, episode count. Two, we need just to have better people or people who know the IP direct this stuff, because now, and here's the thing, I'll say this, and I said this to Margaret. I want to see the two just because I want to see the stranger. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm invested in it now. I didn't watch the whole season. Y'all better give me a season 2 because I want to know what he gonna do.
Exactly.
He got his lady by his side now. Let me stop. Look, all I was waiting for them to do when they was standing at the little beachfront is hit that. All I need in this life, me and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, man, it's.
I got to ask you. How did you feel about the Kylo Ren, not Kylo Ren, but the Knights of Ren, or Kylo Ren? It was the music thing. Yeah.
I was confused because it ain't go nowhere. They just played it, and then it was like, okay, is he supposed to be like the precursor of the Knights of Ren or something? Like, I don't know, man. They just be doing shit sometimes, bro. I don't know, man. It didn't go anywhere. To be honest, like that show almost felt like a fever dream, and it's crazy because it's literally something that's out now. It's not like it's something that I saw when I was a kid. Like I watched it, but I don't know if I watched it. I felt like I did,
It
but I
felt like
don't.
here's the thing. Remember, this is how slow paced it is. I was trying to binge the last 3 episodes because we are gonna do a review of it, or we are doing a review of it, but we were planning a review, and I was falling asleep because it was just very slow paced
Oh
and
my
not a lot
god,
of stuff was happening.
it is a slow drag.
And it goes against because you talk about the rules of film directing is you do more show than tell. They were telling us stuff.
They told us about Ocean and May, how all that happened.
They told us that like 4 or 5 times, man.
I was like, bro, we get it. We not dumb. We know what happens. It's Star Wars. They have kids, they get split. One is bad, one is good. Let's move on. They spent like a whole 3 episodes. Then they kept doing the flashback with the Jedi. Then you promise us a Wookiee Jedi finally. And
where did that go?
Nowhere. But now you want to give him a one-shot comic because we didn't get to see him in action. No, we don't want it. We don't want it. Look.
Let me ask, so how do you feel about the way they ended off things with her being memory wiped and stuff like that? Do you think that's just like how do you feel about it? I don't know where to bridge to that.
That was some like Professor X stuff, man. He was all like, "Now you forget." Now I ain't gonna lie, that was probably her best acting at that part when they was doing the little thing back and forth. I was like, okay, now that I felt that was sad.
Yeah,
That was sad when it happened.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, that was good, but was it necessary? I don't know, bro. Because at this point, I don't think the Jedi at this point are smart enough to search her mind and her feelings and figure out where she is.
No,
I don't think they that good at what they're doing right now. Cause
they're just trying to cover up stuff. They're not trying to investigate. They're more or less sweeping under the rug. Like we're not going to talk about it. It never happened, kind of stuff. Like that's what I get from the Jedi the entire series. Is they were just like, oh yeah, if the council finds out about Osha, they're never going to let her be a Jedi. So we got to play this certain way and lie to everybody about it, and then later on, they do the same exact thing at the end of the series. And I'm just like, and then Yoda being in the end scene, I'm like, is Yoda complicit now? We already know based on like Clone War stuff that he knew about the Order 66 and what was going to happen. He just sat and chilled and said he had to just get off planet because that was something that happened in Clone Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
When he went and was searching and he went on like his little journey to find himself.
Yeah.
And speak to the wheels of the Force and all that stuff. Yeah.
And then found out what was going to happen to all his friends and was like, you know what? I'm going to just pocket that.
Bro,
we're not going to do nothing about that.
This show was very hard to watch, man. I know I keep saying that, but okay, I'll give you the scenario. This show could have been a lot better. And
break it down.
I feel like people gonna start calling these Marcus's alternate show. I do this almost like every.
You do it for everything. I'm here for it. Let's go.
So, first of all, if we doing witches, right? There's only one group of witches I want to see 100 years ago, and that's the witches of Dathomir.
Of course. Like, why introduce the new witches? We already got witches. We got witches at home. Why are we getting witches? Why are we getting new witches?
We know they have a whole like culture and like the mythos of like their history and the ancestry, because we get it not only in Clone Wars but in the games. In the Jedi, wasn't Jedi Survivor? Was it Jedi Order? What was the first one?
Is it not Fallen Order?
Fallen Order.
Yeah, Fallen Order.
Jedi or whatever. Yeah, Fallen Order. So in that one, you go to Dathomir and you learn some more about the history. You talk about the witches. So it's like we get all these facts, and then all this from there,
Mm-hmm.
asides. So it's a rich history. Like I get introducing new things and new planets and characters, but sometimes it's not really needed to tell a good story in the universe. So I felt that you could have took it to Dathomir,
Yep.
gave us the Dathomir witches.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you want to split, they still do the split thing, which I don't think was necessary. I think one child could have been good enough, but then that would have defeated the purpose of the will and
Oh,
the soul. So you
exactly.
keep the so since we keeping the split thing, I say you do a boy and a girl because the dynamic is a little different, and
Yeah.
it gives more of a reason. Because like when she just totally switched to saying, "Oh, I'm a burn," like I'm finna take my sister out just because she didn't want to join me. I was like, "Dang, that was fast."
It went from 0 to 100 immediately.
Yeah, so it was like, and they never really showed. They never really showed like any like jealousy or envy or hate between the two.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was like a don't go type of thing, which is common
Yeah.
with siblings if y'all finna break up or leave or separate. But it was never like implicated that they had a feud or anything. They
Oh.
were shown close from the beginning. So when she took
Mm-hmm.
that turn, it was confusing because it's like, where is this coming from? What's the motive? All of a sudden, she wanna off her sister because she wants to go and be a Jedi. I was like, I don't know. But getting back to the point, what I was saying. So even at that, we keep two female twins, but we keep them on Dathomir. So then that changes the race of the twins. So now they're from Dathomir. So they're probably gonna look something like a size venture. So just picture that in your head. So the witches try and they fail to attempt. And what supports that even more is we know that force sensitive beings have come from that planet.
Yep.
Because just as knowing two main characters, we know it's something that's a force sensitive. But what would support that like dark side of one of them or in both of them is that's a planet like of dark side energy because of
Mm-hmm.
the witches practices and stuff. So
Yeah.
then that supports that. So you have all that way we don't have to spend 2 episodes on telling about the Dathomir witches because we already know. Even for people who's coming into the show, you don't even we don't have to spend that much time on it because I
No.
think a lot of time was spent on that when we could have took that time to develop Osha and May as
Mm-hmm.
characters and flesh them
Yeah.
out a little bit more. Because I felt like it was everything was rushed with them. It was like, okay,
Oh, huh?
we found Osha. Now we gotta find May. They run into each other. They just miss each other, but they back. Now they together. All right, now they gotta do this. Now she might have to take it out. You know, da, da, da. It was like, but
Yeah.
the part that they did build up, which is the character we like, was the stranger who was the former apprentice. Like
Yep.
they built him up really good because in the first episode, you saw him at the end. Okay, the cliche, mysterious character at the end who might be pulling the strings. We don't know, and then they flushed him out a little bit more. We started to care about him because it opened up, and then it's okay. So what happened to this guy? Because he don't seem like a bad guy,
No.
and then it starts opening up even more. And you're understanding why he took this path more so why May did it and it was like, okay, yeah, she got left behind, which is a great way to go on that path. But it's we really they just told us we never like seen like how did she get there? What did she do? So
It was
I
just
think
rushed because there wasn't much count of the episodes, so they couldn't. Like I
they
think,
just
like
it's
at
the
the end of the day,
episode
all
count.
your problems solved with a bigger, plusher episode count and pacing, and even
Yeah,
spending like more than 30 minutes. Are they hour episodes? What were they?
I think the longest one probably was like 45 minutes.
They could have done hours. They could have done like an hour
Yeah,
episode apiece, and that would have given you enough breathing room. If you're gonna do what 8 episodes, an hour apiece, do the One Piece approach. It works.
yeah, it does. You just got to do it well and write it well.
Yeah, you gotta write it and know the. You can't just sit there and skim the source material. You gotta know
No,
it.
you gotta do some homework, man. Like this is Star Wars at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You know,
I and I think a lot of the reason why I also like the Stranger is because of how much outside like training he did for the role. Like how how
Yeah.
much he was on some Hayden.
Dude was committed, bro. He was committed. Man.
Yeah,
I really
I respect
enjoyed.
it.
Yeah, I respect and I enjoyed his portrayal. I'm sorry, bro, that the show wasn't good, but you did your part, bro.
You carried. He carried on your back.
Nah,
You and
he
Soul
did.
carried that show on your back.
Yes, and I like Soul because he is what the Jedi call a flawed Jedi. He doesn't want to follow the rules.
He carries off of his emotions and stuff like that because he cared about OSHA and stuff like that. So he made the mistake with the best intention. Like that's the one thing we need to have to understand. He didn't do it like the way she said it. It's like, oh, he was an evil guy. He went rogue and he killed everybody. No, he did it because he thought he was protecting them and made a mistake, and which led to the whole show. So his feelings of wanting to protect someone led him down a path of where because he even wanted to admit he wanted to tell the council right away that he did wrong. He was like, I did wrong, and then his friend was like, they'll never let her be a Jedi if you confess.
He was like, okay, because that's what I want for her. So it's like, oh man, I don't like her. I'm just gonna say I don't like her. I don't even remember her name because I don't like her.
Nah,
she the real bad guy of the show.
She really
That's
is,
the bad
man.
guy. That's the bad. She's the cause of all of these problems.
She sent them there. She sent them to that planet, and they all died. Besides, like Soul and the two sisters, they all died. That was
that was crazy.
That was crazy, man. That was just like.
Was it York? What was the dude? York or something like that. I was like,
I think his name is Yord. Yeah.
Bro, the way he took him out,
he just cracked his neck. I was like, ooh. Like, dang.
I was like, he was annoying, but I said he was annoying, but I didn't want him to go out like that.
Either you could go out with your neck cracked or 4 holes in your chest, or 4 holes in your chest. Like, which one?
He hit him with that. I was like,
his setup was nice though. He had the little dagger kind of lightsaber with the full, and then he had the disruptor on. I was like, yo,
yep,
yeah, his setup was nice. Yeah, it was real good. And then, how'd you feel about the Plagueis?
I feel like it didn't even have to be there, bro. What was that for?
I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Oh, they thought I was just gonna be like, yay! No, bro. If you gonna give me anybody, even though I know this is years after he ruled, give me somebody else, or just give us a whole new character. Like, why are we introducing Plagueis this early on?
Hey, cuz he's the one that was able to birth people out of the forest, remember?
Okay.
So they gotta tie it in.
So this is the thing though. Okay, you got Plagueis, right?
Yeah.
So this is where the questions come in. Because it's a ruler too. So right now is Plagueis still the apprentice to his master? Is the stranger one of his acolytes, and he might have different acolytes, and he's trying to see who's going to become his next apprentice? Because remember now, Palpatine ain't nowhere. It ain't nowhere near time for him to be born yet.
He ain't around.
It's nowhere near. So it's okay. This has to be Plagueis when he's an apprentice of his master. So what is he doing on the planet? Is he there for the same reason as a stranger? Is he there to observe them? What is he there for? You show him in a cave looking like a creep, and it's okay. And okay, I guess it looks cool. I guess no, bro. That's the stuff that I be talking about when they do that fan service stuff. That's not what we ask for. We just want a good written show, a la Andor, a la Ahsoka, a la Mando, Clone Wars.
First 2 seasons.
Yes, Mando first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch. Like, we just want well written shows. I'm gonna be honest. I think all the shows that my boy dang, how can his name slip my mind?
Oh,
Dave Filoni.
Dave
All the stuff
Filoni.
Dave Filoni's not like heavily involved in, you can tell.
Yeah,
You
you're
can
right.
tell.
You're
You can
right.
tell. Because ain't no way if Dave did a show like this, it would have went the route it went. Because he's literally George's apprentice. No pun, like all pun intended. George taught him everything about Star Wars. And like when you hear him talk, it's like hearing a younger George Lucas talk. Because that's how
Mm-hmm.
educated he is with Star Wars knowledge. And I'm just like, why won't y'all just let him be in charge of these shows and be over them? Every show that comes out, he should be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just how I feel. Because these people who are coming in here, and it's really not even because on the other shows, it was people that actually were fans of it. Some of the
Yeah.
writing was just bad. But this show, like, I felt like it was pushing the agenda. It was pushing the agenda, bro. And that's all I'm gonna say. I ain't finna say nothing else because ain't nobody finna come after us talking about some we being misogynistic or sexist or homophobic. Like we not finna do that because that ain't what it's about. Because we enjoy
It,
all those types of characters when they're well written. It's when it's not written well, and it's like you're just doing it for a purpose of having it in the show because you want it to be relevant to whatever the times are.
yeah, I think also it just was trying to, like I say, it was trying to change the Star Wars universe because they're not gonna bring back Old Republic like at all. That's not
Mm-mm.
happening. Old Republic is not happening. If you're wanting it, forget about it. It's not coming. So High Republic
Yeah, I've
form.
been gave up on that.
High Republic is their new form of the, I guess you would say, the Old Republic. That's what's filling the canon of Old Republic. We're gonna see if we're gonna see a cameo of I'm trying to think of his name. It's our boy. What's it? Exactly. You're gonna get a cameo of him. You're not gonna get him
Yeah,
at all. You're getting a
shoot,
cameo of his.
you might just get
You
a
get his
name
suit.
mention.
You
Yeah,
get his
or his mask or
backpack.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. You're not gonna get like him because.
Mm-mm.
But the High Republic, like I say, it's not. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. It's just. It's not. I'm not interested in it. I don't. I'm not saying I don't know, think it's good or bad because I've never read the material, but from what I've seen of it, it's just I'd rather have Old
Yeah,
Republic
it's
because
not
Old
my.
Republic is really cool, and
Yeah,
I
it's
would want to see that stuff.
not my cup of tea.
Not at all. So the writing was bad. The characters were flat or just not well developed. They tried to throw in new lore with a force sensitive person being twins, one soul, two bodies type thing. That wasn't really executed really well at all because throughout the show it didn't really feel like they were like in sync. They didn't feel like they
Mm-mm.
were in sync at all.
Mm-mm.
So I think the way this is going is season two, if there is a season two, the sister who was the dark side person is going to be now the light side, and now Osha is going to be dark side. It's going to
Which
flip.
is so cliche, bro. That
It's
shit
gonna
was so cliche.
and it's gonna bite the act not the acolyte and the stranger in the entire ass because now this person's gonna be gun ho to defeat them. And that's how
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be because it's cliche. They're setting up for her to be the one that's to spoil everything. From what I see, I
And then
might be wrong.
they're gonna have a force baby.
Oh no, not a fourth baby. No, that's how Palpatine gets put introduced in the universe. Right there. There you go.
Boom. That's his
Boom.
parents.
Done. Done. All connected.
We just kidding. Please don't do
Yeah,
that, Disney.
please
Please.
Don't take us up on that. But I
Please
guarantee you,
don't.
if they have a season two, they're gonna drop a Palpatine baby somewhere.
Man, yeah, they're gonna
They're gonna have a
fast forward.
Palpatine,
Like they're gonna fast
Palpatine.
forward 50 years. What? It's gonna be like 50 years before the Phantom Menace.
What they're gonna do? What they're gonna do is they're gonna do like a flash forward to have the Osha really old or whatever, or if she's still alive, and then Stranger if he's still around, and then they're gonna go back in time and be like, "This is how everything happened," and then it's gonna go all the way through. The reason I say this is because they had a pop song at the end of a episode, and that.
Oh, bro, I was man, I was feeling my girl. I was like, man, This does not feel like Star Wars, man. I feel like I just watched a BET show or something. What am I watching, bro? I don't know,
I had to
man.
tie it in somehow, and that was how I was going to tie it in. I was going to do a flash
Bro,
forward,
I
flashback,
didn't
and then boom.
I did not enjoy this body of work for this show, man. I'm sorry.
And here's the thing: on paper, it had so much success.
Yeah.
A dark side centered show, it
Yep.
signed me up. And here's the thing: they succeeded in having a good dark side character. It's just everything around it was not the best. And if there is a season 2, don't even introduce him. Don't even. I don't want to see the Jedi Council. I don't want to see Yoda. I don't want to see anybody I know. I want to see Stranger and his acolyte and maybe one Jedi that comes after him and the sister. That's it. Do not show me the council. Do not show me Yoda. Do not show me baby Mace. Don't show me baby Mace Windu. Don't show me nothing.
None of that. I want them to go to like Mortis and all the look for Sith holocrons. More into, because that's what we thought we was getting. We thought we was gonna get more of the mythos of the Sith. But it's no, we still gotta give you the Jedi and show you how high and mighty they were, but they were flawed because we don't want to make them seem like an all-powerful cult.
But we already knew that. Like, we already knew they were flawed. We already knew they were high and arrogant.
They caused the whole genocide against their own kind.
Yes.
They were too freaking arrogant to realize what they were doing. You told her, okay, so this applies to this show. That's why I'm going to say this. So you take a 10-year-old boy from his mother, tell him he's never going to see her again, and you train him, and tell him he's the chosen one, and all is precious. So he excels at everything he does, but y'all still trying to hold him back because the Jedi way says that he has to do it this way, and he's moving too fast. He can't be here. And then when he finally gets to be that dude, and you put him on the council, you don't rank him as. That's like telling me, "Hey man, you get to work this shift, but you're not the manager. You gotta tell everybody what to do, but you're not the manager. You just tell
you're manager in title, but no authority."
Yeah. I'm like, so now you showing us that they just still did the same thing 100 years ago. We didn't need to see that. We already know they suck at what they do. We knew that.
We knew this all the way through. Listen, we knew that from Clone Wars when they went from keepers of peace to dogs of the military. That's really what they became. They went people of peace, and we saw in Acolyte, they were people that didn't fight first, to Mace Windu cutting off someone's head immediately. So dogs of the military. We knew this. We didn't need any more of that. A lot of the Jedi's in the prequels, I guess you would say, aren't true Jedi's in the sense that they don't believe in the keeper the peace part of it. They just want to control shit, or they got into that idea of controlling shit. That's why Ahsoka was in the Clone Wars was seen by the people, or seen by those siblings of what a Jedi should be, because she was trying to be a keeper of peace, or had conflicts with it, with being a soldier.
Because she literally was a soldier since she was a little girl, which is crazy.
And even we saw that in Ahsoka series, where she was like, I don't want to do any of this stuff as a kid. And Anakin was like, I'm here to teach you how to survive. Then in the flashback, she was like, I don't want to do none of this. We're keepers of peace. We're not soldiers. And he was like, listen, to survive, you got to learn to adapt, to be different, to be a soldier. And I'm like, see, that's where you have the mistakes. When you go from keepers of peace to soldiers, and that's another flaw of it, but there's plenty of flaws in the Jedi for days. And now, as an older fan, I see that dark side does have its flaws.
Yeah, what
the Jedi
what Anakin said, or the Anakin said, I see the lies of the Jedi. Yes. I understand now, Anakin.
He was a cult. He was like, this is a cult. And I'm like, they both cults.
They both cults. I would even say with this show, you could have even showed it like this. You have that first episode establishing like the characters of May and Osha, but I would have loved to see the stranger like off planet searching, showing how he got the mask. Because in my head, I feel like he ain't had that mask for that long. Like he got it like a couple years ago. So showed like him going back to that planet because it was other stuff there that he wanted to explore. You know, show him in the jungle, get him being attacked by some on the planet, the life forms on the planet or something, a bounty hunter. You know, showing his skills as, you know, a loner. Because like when we get him fighting the Jedi, oh, this dude is nice. I want more of him. Like I think this show should have been more about the Sith than it was about the Jedi. And
Yeah.
they focus so much on the Jedi and showing us how nice and pretty everything looked at this point in time. Oh, bro, we don't. The Jedi have had a lot of shows, so it's time to let somebody else out. Like
Yeah.
I want more stuff like Andor. I want the
Agreed.
shows about the bounty hunters and the soldiers, the regular people, the 9 to 5 people in Star Wars, and then the bad guys.
The ones that gotta deal with the Empire coming down on them. The ones that can't fight back with like lightsabers or the Force. The ones that gotta, if the Imperial comes down and says, "Hey, you gotta be here by tomorrow or you're fired" or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, they got to deal. They can't sit there and mouth off like a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you feel about the? I just remembered. How did you feel about the stranger fighting off all those bugs, or how him getting MacGuffin out of the scene with the bugs and stuff like that? Because that was weird, wasn't it? Wasn't that a little weird?
That whole bug shit was weird. Like, I don't get it, man. I get it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
do we really? Oh man, do we really need it? Do we
Because
really
I was
need
like, are
it?
they killing him off that early? Because like he came in with Cole, and then the bugs were getting him, and he was like leaving. I'm like, are they gonna kill him off screen with the bugs? Like, really? We're doing that, Star Wars? And then like he gets out of it, and I'm just like, oh, that was just to get him out of the scene because they couldn't fight him. Because he's that nice.
No, that dude was nice with it, man. That
Yeah,
dude was nice with it.
he was good. Yeah. Disney favorite Sith user right now, Disney of the Disney era. He's definitely a top billing. He's up there now. I'm not a big Kylo fan. Don't shoot me, but I'm not a big Kylo fan.
Yeah, but he's definitely above Kylo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No shade
he
to
made
Adam
me
Driver though. Like no
nah,
shade to
not
Adam
at all.
Driver.
He made me care about a character who was supposed to be seen as the evil, and when we really saw like the characteristics of the good guys and what lengths they'll go to do what they have to do or make something seems as if it's not. They will go through greatness, and it's I don't know, bro. I
All
don't
right.
know.
Let me ask you an easier question. How do you rate the show?
How do I rate the show?
Yeah, what's your rating? That was an easy question.
No, it's easy. But do you really want to hear it?
We here
So,
for that, man. We
so
here
okay, I'll say this.
for, okay.
At first, I had this show at a 4,
Okay. Okay.
but I was nice and gave it a 5.5.
Okay.
Then I seen that the last episode, and it is not because of Yoda and all that shit. I didn't give a damn that Yoda was in that last episode. It was the things that were surrounding it and the story and the possibilities. So I gave it like a 6, also because the choreography, the lightsaber fights, which is the
Yeah.
choreography. Soul, Stranger, even my girl Jodie Turner played the main witch, the mother, the
Yeah.
dark skin. She was good. So
Yeah, she was.
that's why I was like, I could give it a 6 because it was still certain things that were positive.
Mm-hmm.
Actors who portrayed the roles real good. So I was like, I think I'll let it sit at a solid 6, but it fluctuates through from a 6 to a 5.5 the more I think about it.
Yeah, I was sitting when I first started the first 3 episodes because I watched 3. I watched the 2 and I was like, it's like a 4. After the first 2, I was like, it's not hidden. And then when we got to I won't even say 3, I'll say 5, episode 5 when the fighting happened. it went up to a 5, and then when it ended off, I felt comfortable giving it a 6. I didn't feel comfortable giving it a medium of 7. I was like, this is not a 7 show. This is a 5, hoping to be this is a 5 with a high 5. I off my train of thought, but it was a 5 wanting to be a 6. Like it was.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what I want. Yeah, that's what I want to say. 5 wanting to be a 6. So it was like fluctuating between those two, like you were saying.
I'm telling you, because I had that shit at a 3.
Man, it was a 4 when I first started, and
Yeah,
here's the thing. I went into the show wanting it to be great. I wanted it to be so good. Like I went in with this no
same.
bias. I wasn't listening to what people were saying. I went into it cold turkey, just trying to really find what I liked, also, and just give it a chance. And the show just wasn't. It just didn't hit with the writing, but the like I said, the choreography is good. The actors, what they were given, they did the best they could with what they were given, and sold it. So and also I just really the stranger, so like it bumped it up. But any other last remarks you want to give, or are you good?
I do want to say this as Star Wars fans, fans of cinema, fans of fantasy, sci-fi, westerns, just people who love to watch things like this. We appreciate that we live in an age where we can get content like this
Yeah.
and be able to review and watch it. But we simply just asking just for good quality things. And when you come and you give us that with one show and then don't give it to us with another, it's like, why do we keep playing this seesaw effect? Why don't we just keep the ball rolling? But I say that to say this wasn't like the worst thing in the world to ever happen to Star Wars. It just
No.
was not the best. It was not the best executed thing, and it could have been done a lot better. But I appreciate the ideas, the thoughts, the things they were trying to flush out to give more background to what the Jedi or Sith had said in Episode 1. I appreciate what they were trying to set up. They just didn't execute it.
Execution was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So, what about you, D?
Oh, you said everything I need to say in a mouthful, man. You got me. Like
Oh shoot.
everything you said, I said. I was sitting there hyping you. I'm like, yeah, you right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you
Man,
crushed
because
it.
I
Cause
had to
it,
get that off my chest, get the monkey off my back.
yeah. How are you feeling about the next Star Wars project? I'll ask you one final question. Like the next, I think it's a Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Yes,
Yeah.
they're saying people are speculating we might get Omega.
Oh, that would be nice. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, grown up Omega.
That would
So
be awesome. If
I'm
that
I'm
happens,
open. I'm
yeah,
always look when Acolyte was announced. I was excited and I was open about it because it was like the time period. So
yeah.
I'm excited about this show. I'm just praying that it's it's some good writing because they got some good actors in that show too. I won't say I'm excited. I'll say it like this: I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. Then, as far as everything else, it's supposed to be a movie soon. I guess
Yeah,
they'll probably do some more animated stuff, which I wish they would do more of.
I wish they would just stick to animated for a lot of things.
Yeah,
Honestly,
and I'm gonna start campaigning now. Every time we do a Star Wars anything review, bring back Star Killer.
yes.
Bring back Star.
They
Please.
can't. They can't do it. They,
They
they
don't. No, Demetrius. It's not that they can't. They don't want to do it.
yeah, you're
Nah,
right.
I know what you're saying though. I know what you're
Yeah,
saying, bro. But I know all of you all out there would love to see him. And I gave if you want to hear my scenario for him coming back in the show, it's in two of our older podcasts. It's in the is Disney choking on the aspirations of Star Wars, and then it's back when we did the Kenobi review. So if
okay.
you
Deep
because I
dives.
think I want to say I said the same thing in both, but
I think. Yeah.
just for a reference, if you all want to see that, go check those out. Because at this point, it's like me playing It's like a broken record. I keep saying it, and I'm not getting it. So I'm like, maybe I should leave it alone and put it out in the universe and let it do its work.
Just let it do what it got to do.
Let it run its course.
But anything else? Any more questions? Anything you got else to add?
Oh man,
Just making sure.
I think we covered everything.
I think we're good. I think we've over covered everything. Honestly,
yeah, we did. We did. Which, that's what we're here for, you guys. And as always, Dmitri safe. You guys have any comments? And before we even say that, I want to say I appreciate the comments we have been getting.
Yeah,
on our
me
last
too.
couple of videos. I appreciate y'all talking to us, letting us know what you think about the show, the episodes. If you went back and watched any older ones, stuff like that. We appreciate y'all. Y'all showing us some love right now, some love that we need. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely do. Anytime that you guys want to interact with us on anything, whether it's on our videos or our social media, we are happy to chat with you guys. And we're getting a Discord. It's in the process. I just need to finish some fine tuning things.
That's a hard working man right there, man.
Ivy.
He not gonna toot his own horn, but that's a hard working dude right there, bro. He holding it down. So like he said, we working on that. That's coming soon. We have some other, not just reviews, things we're gonna talk about. Hopefully we'll have some things mixing in the pot. As far as who gonna talk with. So Demetrius, with that being said, you wanna send us off tonight?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna take the hyperspeed. With that being
punch it, Chewy.
Yeah. With that being said, this is our shameless promotional.
It's shameless promotional. How did my master appear in this show that had nothing to do about him? Take it away, Demetrius.
This is the Square Roundtable podcast. If you want to view this video, you can view it on YouTube. Leave us a comment, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell on the right side of the video so you get notified of this video and future videos. Hit us up on our Instagram, Twitter, I'm not saying X, Twitter, our Facebook, and eventually Discord. And also, if you want to comment based on what characters you liked, how you felt about Yoda's involvement, how you felt about Plagueis being in the show, do you want a second season? Are you looking forward to it? Leave that stuff all down there. We will talk to you about that, or anything, honestly. If you're feeling it, put it down there.
We talk to y'all.
And follow us on Fandom Limb at squareroundtablepod.fandomlimb.com and Rap Nerd.
Rap Nerd. Shout out to Rap Nerd, man.
They be holding us down. Yeah, they be holding us down over there.
Yeah, man. Shout out to them guys. Good dudes.
And with that being said, we are out. And may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Peace.